Lui progresso e gracia la misericordia. This is Sancista Luis, and I'm doing a video today on a basic Mesa Espiritual, also known as a Boveda in some traditions. This is pretty much Espiritismo. And a lot of people are curious about Mesa Espirituales or Bovedas Espirituales. They are generally dedicated for ancestral spirits. Usually on the background right here, which I have covered with a cloth, I have pictures of my relatives that have passed away, and that's really private, so I have that covered. But this right here, just for privacy, But this right here is a basic Mesa Espiritual, Mesa Blanca, or Boveda, what they call them in some traditions. And it's very Espiritismo, Caribbean Espiritismo, practiced in Puerto Rico and in Cuba, in traditions such as Espiritismo Cruzado, Espiritismo Criollo, Espiritismo Folclórico. And first thing you're going to notice when you look at a Mesa Espiritual or a Boveda is you're going to notice these goblets right here. These goblets right here are called Fuentes Espirituales. And each one is dedicated to either a comisión de espíritus, a group of spirits that guides you or protects you. And it also represents the family bloodlines that are within your family. The center Fuente Espiritual, this one right here, this one is called El Santísimo. Now, you will notice some altars or some bovedas or some Mesa Espirituales, you will see I don't know what they call it in English, El Santísimo is what we call it in Spanish, in the altar. This one right here is dedicated to God, to the Holy Spirit. And you will notice the cross, which always should be a metal cross, submerged into water. Now, a lot of people ask, does that have to do with Catholicism? It can. It really has to do more with the four directions of the universe: north, south, east, and west. And we use a metal cross as a conductor of spiritual energies, energía o corrientes espirituales, and we submerge it into water so that the electricity or los corrientes espirituales enter from the top and go into the water, into los fluidos, as what we call it. Now this one right here, this Fuente Espiritual, if you notice, it has fresh ruda. This is ruda, and this is symbolizing for my abuela. She was a bruja espiritista, she was a curandera, santiguadora, and she had this vast knowledge of herbs. This ruda right here I picked from my garden. It's fresh rue, and I put it right there. It's always there in the center because she was a really important spiritual teacher in my life. She was one of the first teachers that I had in my life. So I always have her fresh herb, whether it be ruda, it could be albahaca, romero. I'm saying them in Spanish, I'm sorry. Ruda is rue in English. Albahaca is basil in English. Romero is rosemary in English. So, I put those fresh herbs, into the altar. Always have white candles. If you notice, these are white candles. White candles represents purity. It represents light, giving your spirits and your ancestors light. Now, remember I said that I do have pictures. It's covered by a white cloth. I have pictures of not just my ancestors, but family members that have passed away. And I got it covered for privacy. But, whenever you put a picture of someone in your Mesa Espiritual, it should be, it definitely should be someone who has passed away. Never have pictures of someone alive in the background. I'm sorry, my dogs are barking. Let's see what else I have here. Right here we have La Oración Escogida Espiritista, which I do, this is a Spanish book, which is like a Kardashian Spiritism. And it has, a bunch of prayers in Spanish, which I use, I know most of these by heart, but I use them, to sit down and meditate. There's some with the saints. And I also have a Bible, a Santa Biblia. Now, if you notice, I got a bunch of paper there. These are trabajos espirituales that I do, you know, with my ancestors, whether it be for luck, for myself. See all the little papers in there? I keep that all private. But anyways, that's there, and those are little petitions that I make. You know, you see, if you notice, I have a bunch in the Bible. We use the Bible a lot, especially the Psalms. The Psalms are really important. Well, at least for us. You don't have to have a Bible. You can have any spiritual book, any book for meditation, any book that you use for prayers. But this is the way we do it in Puerto Rico and in Cuba. We use a lot of Catholicism, a lot of Espiritismo tradition. Again, a book with prayers for a lot of saints. This is one's in Spanish. This is La Oración, La Fe en la Oración. Is a book that we use a lot in Puerto Rico, in Cuba. Really important book that we use with a lot of prayers to the Los Santos. Right here in the background, it's a little open bottle. Wish you could smell this, but you can't. Puerto Ricans know what this is, alcoholado. You know, from Puerto Rico, alcoholado. And this one has perfumes that I mixed in. My grandmother used this to do a lot of sobos. So I use this a lot to cleanse myself, to purify myself, to ground myself. This little tapa, I forgot how you say tapa in English, doesn't go to that bottle, but I just put it there. Cover, lid, there you go. But, you know, that's one of those. Right here I have coffee.